Okay, action.
Action, she says. Okay, first off, Happy New Year. Today's the 1st of January, 2024. I'm going to have to learn how to sign that year from now on, probably for the rest of the year, because I still had trouble signing 2023 probably up until December. Anyway, so I thought I'd start out by answering a few questions. First, I got these in the mail. Here's my burning pin. I use a Coalwood burner. Here, I've got a picture of it here. It's not very expensive. This one here from, where's this one from? Find it here. Good grief. Woodworking Supply in Long Island. Anyway, go down through here. This one's $88. That's the one I use. I bought it off a guy when he quit wood carving because of his age. I got it for $50, and it worked fine for what I use it for. You can jump up $228 for that one, plus you get some pin tips. Probably you'll use all but none, and you'll probably order another one, and I'll show you that in here in a minute if you're interested. And it just goes up from there. So, you know, it's up to you what you buy, but you got to be careful on what you buy, because you'll run the risk of getting something that don't really work for you. And a good example of that is, let me get it over here. This is the Burnmaster. Now the thing about this one, it's taunted that you can use any kind of pin you want on this one. Well, I could use my Coalwood pins on it because it has the same connector down there and same burning tips. But for some strange reason, this one just didn't seem to work the way I wanted it to work. Oh, it worked, but it didn't work the way I wanted it to work. So I was glad that I got this one here, because that's what I use now. Well, anyway, I ran out of burning tips, so I found a Coalwood site on the internet, and I went back and I bought me some more burning tips. Now this is the tip that I use, if Judy can zoom in there. Why do I use this tip? Well, because it works mostly, but see how much material you have up here on the end of this? These tips last a long, long time, and when they finally give up the ghost, it's because these two wires here separate, because the material up here is gone, worn away or burn away, one of the two. So you got to get a new tip. They cost, let's see here, they cost $10 a piece now. The last ones I bought years ago, they were $8. Well, like everything else, they go up in price. Everything goes up in price. Anyway, let me get this out of the way. I got me 3 of them. That'll last the rest of my lifetime, I'm sure. So I'll set these over here. Next question. Okay, someone asked me, what happens when you run out of red iron oxide because they don't make it anywhere anymore? Well, that's a shame that they don't make it anymore, because it's such a basic color. And I don't know why these people that make these paints are constantly changing the names of them and the colors, discontinuing the colors. Like, let's see another one here. Midnight Blue. Now if I can find a color, is this it here? Nope. It's not that one. Nope, it's not that one. Anyway, I bought some Midnight Blue, and I got a bunch of it because I knew they're probably going to do the same damn thing and discontinue one of my favorite colors. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can, but this one here is lighter than this one over here. And this is the one I really like. So this one goes back on the shelf, probably never to be used. And this is the one I'm using now, which I was fortunate enough to buy another one. And I only use very little of this stuff, so it'll last me a long time. But red iron oxide, what do you do if you can't get this anymore? And I use this to make my flesh tone, as I showed you earlier. Okay, so here I'll show you how to solve it. Let's squeeze out a little bit of red iron oxide there, okay? Now, brush here. Blend a little bit of that out of there. Now, how to mix it? Okay, the secret is right there in the title, red iron oxide. There's two colors there, red and iron. Well, we need to find an iron color. Well, an iron color, here's a good iron color. Now this is burnt sienna. Hopefully, well, this is a basic color, just like, what did I say earlier? Can't remember. Anyway, we're hoping that they don't discontinue this one here. See, that's sort of the color of rust, iron. All right. So that's going to be one of those colors that we need to make that other color. So we'll squeeze out a bit of this, like that. Put that away. And what's the other color? Red. Well, here's Moroccan red. It's a real rich red, which I like. Not one of these real bright reds. Although those would probably work. But this is a good red. So we're going to take just a little bit of it. Squeeze it out here. Put that back up. Now you can see over here the two colors, okay? So we're going to just take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and mix them together. And then we're going to bring them over here and see how they match this one over here. Look at there, see, you can hardly even tell the difference. There's a little bit more rust in that color, so we'll just put some more in there. And there you have red iron oxide. Okay, so that was simple. That's the fun of paint. Once you learn how to paint and get down to the basics of it, mixing paint colors is not that hard to do. And it's kind of fun in a way too. So let me get rid of these things. Yes, I waste a lot of paint. Okay, now what are we doing here? Oh yeah, we're going to do the body. Now, like I mentioned before, why do I like these pins over a different pin? Well, look at the difference in length on these things. This thing goes way out there, so you don't have as much control with this one. I just happen to have this one in the box, so it kind of saved the day when all my other like this busted. But because this one's down closer to the pin where you're holding it, you know, it only comes down to about there. You don't have that end out there waving out there that you don't have that much control over it as you do with the shorter one. So I'll just take this one out. And put this one in. Get in there. Now it'll serve me for a long, long time. And then I'll put this one back in here Put it back. Maybe it'll save me again someday. I don't know. So, that answers those questions. All right, when you're using a pen, don't go overboard on it. You don't want the thing to look burnt. Like these little things here, I just real quickly, just pull my pen away from them and real lightly do that. These here, I'm pretty quick when I go across it. I use a hot pen, but I don't stay on the wood very often. And here, like here on the shoulders, I will start here, hold it a little up deeper because I want a darker shadow down in there, and then just blend it out. And then turn it around and come down the other way. So I have a sort of a mid-range here of pure color, not with the burning. On the fur up here around, it's going to support the claws. I use a stoning tool on a Dremel. Let me just go get it so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the stoning tool that I use. See, it's just a Dremel point that this is actually worn down. I mean, it used to be a little larger than that, but it's just got a sharp edge. It cuts a little V indentation on your wood. And what I'll do, just go back and forth creating the texture that I did on here. And then for the areas that I can't reach with the Dremel, I'll come back with my burning pen down here along the edges, and I'll just actually burn that to where it duplicates the stroke that I made with the Dremel. All right? And then, because this will be all fuzzed up from my Dremel, I'll take a little propane torch and I'll burn it and burn all that stuff off of it. And because it's going to be painted dark, this heavy burnt area will not show. It gives me the texture that I'm looking for. Alrighty. So, this one's ready to be painted. Get this other stuff out of the way here. And what's the first thing I do? Get my water sprayer here. And just like we did on the head, hose this thing down. And did you notice when I sprayed on here how the water beaded up on it? This wood actually has a tendency to seal itself. The pores will come together setting around here because it loses the moisture in the wood. So you have to, you have to sort of go over it a couple times to make sure you get enough water on there that it soaks in to do what you want it to do when you paint it. So be liberal with the water. It'll dry, so don't worry about that. So we'll just set that aside a second. And let me get rid of this electrical piano here before I electrocute myself. And get rid of these other things before they get broken. I'll be right back. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention about red iron oxide. If you went to Joe Sonia's Artist Colors, look that up, I'll bet you'll find red iron oxide if you really wanted. Get it pre-mixed for you, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive, and everybody, all the professionals, using that term loosely, would say, oh, Joe Sonia's colors are the best that there is. Maybe they are, I don't know. But these here work great for me, and they're probably half the price. Just thought I'd tell you that. Okay, let's start with raw sienna for the base color for the rawhide that makes up the coat, okay? And be careful. Here's burnt sienna, the color we used to make red iron oxide with the red color we used. And this is raw sienna, burnt sienna and raw sienna. So don't mix these two up. If you want to make red iron oxide, use the other. This is great for starting off with the rawhide shirt. So we'll squeeze that a little bit there. That'll be plenty. And give me a big brush. Some dirt. You get in tight corners like that, don't try to come in like that. Lay your brush down and just kind of spin it and push it up in there. Now this is just a base color. But we don't want it on our beaded strips. Went down to the J-Way Cafe this morning, one of the few places that are open here on New Year's. Midnight. I think Judy caught the sniffles down there. Same.
No, the dust.
Anyway, all the local boys were sitting around the community table discussing various things, the year, taxes, etc.
I can stop.
Going to take a break here. We've got the just went blank. Raw sienna painted on all the bare skin. Now, with some asphaltum, again that real rich brown, what I'm going to do is take this, put it along this edge up here, and kind of bleed it down so it gets lighter as it goes down. See, like that. Looks good.
Oops.
What?
Turn it towards
See how it's darker up here on the top? Yeah, you can put some more on there. Oops, I don't want that. And just pull that color down to where it maintains its light appearance down here, but it's dark up there at the top. Do the same thing here. looks good. Alrighty, now I'm going to get me some lighter color. Here, I don't want that. There's a good one. Sandbox, another one of those names. Just sort of a light tan. Clearly out a little bit of that out of there. Tell you what, I'll just paint out of the lid being it's stopped up. And we're just going to mix a little of the color. This. That's a piece of carving there. That's good. Doesn't take much, really shows up there now. Okay, now I'm going to get my research book here. I started this book long before we got our computer. I mean, you can find a lot of stuff on the computer, but I like these kind of books. It kind of helps you. Helps you when you're looking for certain things. Let's see, mark some pages here. Where are you? See how they use blue at the top of the shirt? It brings it down just about halfway and then leaves it natural for the rest of the way. Another thing, when the Indians tan their leather, what they do is they use a brain tan. You can look that up and figure out how they do it. It's called brain tanning. And they just use the brains of buffalo and animals they use for food. And that's what they use to tan their leather. And after they do that, they hoist it up to the top of their teepees to where the smoke coming up from their central fire inside the teepee adds color to it, and it turns it a golden color, basically just like that there. And for even more decoration, they go ahead and they color the upper parts of their shirts. You can look through, I could look through this book and find all kinds of instances to where they did that. Here they did it here, but they used a darker color than it is down here just to make the separation. Here's one. They used blue again. Here again it's blue, although this is a sculpture. Blue again. It just makes that shirt just that much more colorful and appealing. So that's what we're going to do. So, what color do I use? Well, naturally I first go to my midnight blue, as I always do. And we're going to squeeze out a little of it here. Oh, don't want that. forgot to shake it up. Don't want that. Let's get rid of that other stuff while I'm at it. Squeeze out a little bit of it here. Okay. I don't really care for that. That's two blues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some green in it. This is pine green. Hang on just a minute here. I think I made a big boo-boo. Let's just see. Okay, I didn't make them do after all. So, like I said, I was going to put some pine green with it. I'll just put it right in here. That's what I'm looking for. So we're going to start up here at the top. Like I say, just push your brush to get into those tight spots. This is just a neck piece up, that's separate from the shirt up there on top. Don't want to forget this out here. What? Hmm? It's amazing the colors that Native Americans came up with. And then the white man showed up and started trading with them. and introduced even more material for them to decorate their things, beads. They loved reds. They just went nuts over reds because, boy, you look at their clothing, red always seems to appear more into it. Just even across here. Still a little. Make it a little darker up here. There, there's that bleed out effect. Looks good to me. Look good? Okay. Now we're going to paint the fur because I have my brown out here and I might as well use it up. And I think that's just about going to do it for this video because my rambling on kind of uses up the time. Let me know if I ramble on too much. Funny thing is you don't see how much I ramble on because I go back through the video before I upload it and delete all sorts of stuff because I just talk too darn much. But I want you to I want you to see the whole process. I think that's what you want to see. And me talking constantly hopefully contributes to that. And again, those burn marks separate the colors really nice. They don't let it bleed over into areas that you don't want it. Well, I'm glad to see the new year. I think Judy's glad to see it too. We've had a lot going on this year that wasn't fun because we're not as young as we used to be, and I guess that comes with the territory when you're getting old. right now we're in good health, and we hope and pray that we stay that way. One thing we didn't get accomplished this year that we love to do is go out west up into the mountains. Let me find some brown here. Running out of brown. We normally go out to Wyoming, over around the Grand Tetons in that area there, Yellowstone Park. Beautiful country. No mountains around here in Oklahoma. I mean, way down southwest there's some, but they'd be considered foothills around places like the Grand Tetons and the Rockies. As you can see, I'm really laying the color on here. I want it dark. This is dark, and I'm going to make it even darker after I get this brown on here. So let me go ahead and finish this brown, and then we'll come back and use another color, or colors.